of the church, and 9:30, I'm at my office, and I'm waiting for him, and I get the call, call an ambulance, Francesco. So I asked the secretary, called it, and I went running to see what I thought maybe there was a heart attack or something, and I went running out, and that's when he had just gotten up from this terrible, vicious attack on the street.
And the people who have seen it and described it to the newspapers, and you, of course, know very well, is apparently he was being dragged throughout the street by these two pit bulls who were known in the neighborhood. You felt that his injuries were so horrible, horrific, you took off your shirt, you used it as a tourniquet, and you gave him last rites.
Well, I think that's what anybody would have done in this situation, since he was bleeding to death, right? So this was not, and these pictures came up much later now on the news, and that's the only reason why we're showing them, because they're all over the place. But as he was there, he goes, Father Jonathan, I'm dying. And I said, well, I'm going to pray for you, and I'm going to give you last rites, but only if you promise that you don't stop fighting. And I gave him last rites, and he's there. We had got him at this point. The dogs are still, with the picture that you're seeing now, the dogs are still loose at this time, and they're looking for him, and they're running the streets. And so when we hear the dogs, we get him now into the church. He's there in my arms. Other people, first of all, I should say the neighborhood came together, and the people came in and risked their lives and their limbs in order to get the dogs off him enough so that he could stand up. Then as he's there lying, later on he describes that he's doing well. First of all, I should say he's in 5 hours of surgery. Today is more surgery. He said to me, he's got a great sense of humor. He goes, Father Jonathan, you know, when you gave me last rites, you scared the hell out of me. I said, Francesco, I scared the hell out of you.
I want to know how scared you were during all this, because you say these dogs, I mean, we're not showing the video, but I've seen it, and people are unleashing hoses to try to get these dogs to stay awake, and they're acting like lions on the prowl, looking for this man. Are you worried they're going to come after you, too?
Again, I had the easy part of it. The tough part was those who actually went and got the dogs off of him. I was just there in the moment, running up as he's got free for the first time. So I had the very easy part of it, and to be with them and get other people in the church. You know, we had a school mass, the opening school mass with 300 kids in my church. They left 5 minutes before this happened. I just thank God that they were not, you know, streaming out of the church, because those two dogs were running wild on the streets.
Right.
Francesco's also, he was told me, he goes, you know, I'm concerned about those dogs. What are they going to do with them? You know, he's got I said, well, first of all, what we should do is make sure those dogs are never on our street again. And they're in quarantine right now. Okay. But the city needs to know that those dogs cannot be on our street again. Those dogs smell blood.
Hold on! We said hold on!